Hi, and welcome back to our daily news. Here's a roundup of today's top stories. Starting off, India's goods and services tax collections reached an all-time high in April. Revenue crossed a whopping 2.1 lakh crore, which is a 12% increase from the previous record. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman attributes this to a strong economic momentum and improved tax collection efficiency. The revenue from domestic transactions grew by 13.4%, indicating healthy internal economic activity. Imports also saw an increase of 8.3%. It's worth noting that this growth follows a slight dip in March, so experts are cautiously optimistic. They anticipate revenue to moderate in the upcoming months, but still remain well above the 1.68 lakh crore average of the previous year. Now let's shift gear to a developing political controversy. Prajwal Revanna, a member of parliament from Karnataka, is facing an investigation into an alleged sex scandal. Prajwal reportedly left India using a diplomatic passport in the midst of the investigation. He claims to be in Germany but hasn't cooperated with the authorities despite being served a notice. Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has urged the central government to cancel Prajwal's diplomatic passport and ensure his swift return. Moving on, Prime Minister Narendra Modi took a swipe at the Congress party during an election rally in Gujarat. He challenged the Congress to commit in writing that they won't implement religion-based reservations or alter the constitution. This comes amidst accusations from the BJP that Congress is considering such a move. In a significant legal development, the Supreme Court has denied the central government's application for administrative allocation of spectrum. Spectrum is essentially the invisible radio waves used for mobile communication and other services. Currently, auctions are the established method for allocating spectrum to private players. The court has reaffirmed this principle, established in the 2G spectrum judgment of 2012. This upholds transparency and prevents the government from choosing operators arbitrarily. While government urged that some spectrum allocations must not be suited for auctions, the court emphasized fair competition as a crucial principle. Moving on, the Central Bureau of Investigation has conducted raids across 10 states in connection with the HPZ Token app fraud case. This app lured investors with false promises of high returns through Bitcoin mining. Over 30 locations were searched and several devices, documents, and bank accounts were seized. The main process of this scam involved initial payouts to build trust, followed by irregular payments and demands for fresh investments. The Enforcement Directorate is also investigating the money laundering aspect of this scam. Authorities suspect funds were transferred out of India through cryptocurrency or illegal channels. This case highlights the dangers of online investment schemes that offer unrealistic returns. On the economic front, the ongoing saga of Go First Airlines in India continues. The aviation regulator, DGCA, has deregistered all 54 of their aircraft. This follows a Delhi High Court order and Go First's own declaration of voluntary insolvency last May. Aircraft proprietors want their planes back, but the insolvency process creates a delay. While the holders can maintain and inspect the aircraft, it's unclear who will be responsible for airport parking charges, a point of contention between them and the insolvency resolution professionals. This situation adds another layer of uncertainty to Go First's future, with many grounded planes potentially facing maintenance issues. On to some international news. Tensions are flaring up again at Columbia University in New York. Over 100 anti-war protesters were arrested after the NYPD stormed the campus. This is the second such police action in less than 2 weeks, with officers using flashbangs and riot gears to clear occupied buildings. The university claims these actions are necessary to prevent further disruptions, but critics point out its chilling effect on free speech and student activism. Meanwhile, the situation highlights the ongoing debate on the appropriate response to campus protests, particularly those concerning war and international conflict. Speaking of conflict, US Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in the Middle East pushing for a ceasefire and the release of hostages. He met with both Israeli and Palestinian officials, urging Hamas to accept a proposed deal. This emphasizes the Biden administration's priority of reuniting families caught in hostage situations. However, there is internal friction within the Israeli government. While Blinken reiterated opposition to a military offensive in Rafah, some members of Prime Minister Netanyahu's cabinet resist the ceasefire proposals. casting doubt on unified Israeli response. In a developing story, the UK government's controversial deportation scheme to Rwanda is underway. Their plan involves offering rejected asylum seekers a cash incentive for voluntary departure, with forced removals planned for July. This policy faces harsh criticism, being labelled a gimmick by the opposition Labour Party. It's part of a wider effort to curb migration ahead of an election, but critics warn it's inhumane and unlikely to be effective. Additionally, a government impact assessment reveals challenges in locating migrants for deportation, raising further questions about the practicality of this plan. Finally, in Australia, Foreign Minister Penny Wong emphasized Australia's commitment to uphold democratic values. Reports allege Indian spies were expelled for attempting to steal sensitive information. While the specific details remain confidential, this incident highlights the vulnerability of democratic processes to foreign influence. This comes at a delicate time for Australia-India relations, as both nations are close partners within the Quad Security Alliance and are engaged in crucial trade talks. This alleged espionage could potentially strain the partnership, especially considering India's history of tensions with the Pro-Palestine movement, which has found pockets of support in Australia. And that's a wrap for today. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more latest updates. Until next time, stay informed and stay safe. This is Chronicle Daily signing off.